Ever had that gut feeling that your cat is plotting something behind your back? Maybe it's just the way they stare at you from across the room like a tiny, judgmental landlord. But what if they aren't scheming? What if they're just lonely? Cats might have that cool, independent vibe, but deep down, they crave companionship more than they let on. Today, we're going into the behaviors that could mean your cat is dealing with loneliness. If any of these sound familiar, it might be time to step up the cat-parent game. Stick around, and let's decode the mysteries of your kitty's emotions together. And hey, before we start, hit that subscribe button, because your cat totally approves. Waiting for you at the door. Ever notice your cat sitting near the entrance, eyes locked on the door like a tiny security guard? If they're consistently waiting for you to come back, they're probably missing companionship more than you think. Cats who feel isolated often anticipate their human's return, making the doorway their go-to spot for a reunion. It's not just a habit, it's an attempt to feel connected. Destructive behavior. Have you had that moment where you come home to shredded toilet paper, a knocked-over lamp, or a couch that looks like it survived a bear attack? This isn't your cat trying out for a demolition derby, it's a cry for attention. When left alone for too long, boredom takes over, and what's more fun than turning the house into a disaster zone? Cats need stimulation, and if they don't get it from you, your furniture will suffer the consequences. Excessive meowing. You thought your cat was quiet and mysterious, but lately they sound like they're auditioning for a rock band. A sudden increase in vocalization, especially when you're about to leave or after you've been gone all day, can be their way of expressing loneliness. Some cats will go full drama mode, wailing at the door as if you just abandoned them forever, even though you were just grabbing the mail. If your cat is getting chatty out of nowhere, it's worth paying attention. Sleeping more than usual. Cats are already the champions of napping, dedicating a whopping 70% of their lives to snoozing. But there's a fine line between a contented catnap and a sad slumber. If your cat is clocking in even more hours of sleep than usual, especially in secluded corners or hidden spots, it might be a sign they're feeling isolated. Think of it as their version of binge-watching Netflix, except their show is just the back of their eyelids. While it might seem harmless, a sudden increase in sleep could be their way of escaping a lack of stimulation or companionship. Keep an eye on their energy levels and overall demeanor to see if there's more to it than just a lazy day. Ignoring food. Cats are known for their finicky eating habits, but when they start turning up their noses at their favorite meals or treats, it's worth paying attention. Stress, including the kind that comes from loneliness, can wreak havoc on their appetite. Eating alone might not seem like a big deal to us, but for a social creature like a cat, it can feel like dining in a deserted cafeteria. If your cat is leaving their food untouched or showing disinterest in snacks they once adored, it's not just pickiness, it could be their way of telling you they're feeling a little blue. Clingy behavior. Remember when your cat acted like they were too cool to care about you? Suddenly they've transformed into your personal shadow, following you from room to room like a tiny furry bodyguard. While it's flattering to have such a devoted admirer, a sudden spike in clinginess can signal that they're craving more companionship. If they're constantly underfoot, meowing for attention, or refusing to let you out of their sight, loneliness might be the driving force behind their newfound attachment. Tension over space. If you have multiple cats and they suddenly start acting like rival gang members, hissing, growling, or engaging in standoffs, it might not just be a simple territorial dispute. Loneliness can amplify tension between cats, turning once peaceful cohabitants into feuding roommates. Whether it's a battle over the prime sunbathing spot by the window, a tussle for the coziest corner of the couch, or even a competition for your attention and lap, these conflicts can grow from a lack of stimulation or social interaction. Excessive grooming. If your cat starts obsessively licking the same spot, biting at their fur, or even pulling out chunks of hair, it's a clear sign that something is wrong. Loneliness and stress are common triggers for this behavior, turning what should be a soothing routine into a compulsive, nervous habit. Excessive grooming can be compared to human behaviors like nail biting or hair twirling, but with far more dramatic and visible consequences. Over time, this can lead to skin irritation, bald patches, or even infections, making it a serious issue that warrants attention. Ignoring their favorite activities. That toy they used to love? Now it sits untouched, gathering dust in the corner. The bird-watching sessions by the window that used to captivate them for hours? Completely ignored. The late-night zoomies that once had them racing through the house like a tiny whirlwind? A distant memory. When loneliness sets in, even the most playful and energetic cats can lose interest in the activities they once loved. This shift in behavior can be particularly striking in cats, who are usually lively and curious, making it a clear indicator that something is off. Aggressive mood swings. One moment, your cat is purring contentedly in your lap, radiating calm and affection, and the next, they're swatting at you as if you've committed the ultimate betrayal. These sudden and dramatic mood swings, particularly bursts of uncharacteristic aggression, can be a red flag for underlying issues like loneliness, increased hiding. Cats love to find cozy hideouts, whether it's under the bed, inside a closet, or behind the couch. However, if your cat suddenly starts spending an unusual amount of time tucked away in hard-to-reach spots, it could be a sign of loneliness. Hiding becomes their way of shutting out the world when they're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, or out of sorts. It's their version of retreating under the covers when life feels a little too heavy. While some cats naturally enjoy their alone time, a noticeable increase in hiding behavior, especially if it's accompanied by other changes in demeanor, can indicate that they're struggling emotionally. Unusual litter box habits. If your cat suddenly decides that your laundry pile, your favorite rug, or even your shoe collection is the perfect bathroom, it's not just a random act of rebellion. Changes in litter box behavior, such as avoiding the box altogether or choosing inappropriate places to relieve themselves, can be a cry for help. Helping them cope. Cats are complex little creatures who thrive on stimulation, companionship, and routine. If they're following you around like a shadow or waiting by the door like a miniature security guard, they're probably craving more interaction. If they're ignoring their favorite toys or turning your couch into modern art, they're likely bored out of their minds. And if they're hiding more than usual or giving you the cold shoulder when it's time to eat, they might be feeling overwhelmed or disconnected. The good news: you don't need to quit your job to become a full-time cat entertainer, though let's be honest, they'd probably nominate you for Employee of the Year. Start by creating an environment that keeps them engaged and reassured. Interactive toys, a new perch by the window, or even a bird-watching video. Yes, cat TV is a thing, and some felines are obsessed, can work wonders. For multi-cat households, make sure each kitty has their own space and resources to avoid turf wars. If they're still fighting over the same sunbeam, try distraction tactics like playtime or treats, because nothing unites cats faster than the sound of a snack bag crinkling. If you're away from home a lot, consider bringing in a second pet to keep them company. Just make sure to introduce them properly to avoid adding more stress. If another pet isn't in the cards, a pet sitter or a friend who can stop by for some playtime can be a game changer. And when it comes to mealtime, try scheduling their meals when you're home and adding a little extra attention during feeding. Cats love being dramatic about food, and sometimes a little company is all it takes to make kibble exciting again. Spend quality time together, even if it's just sitting nearby while they pretend to ignore you. Cats are always playing it cool, but deep down they appreciate the effort. And if they've started using your laundry pile as their personal bathroom, and there are no medical issues at play, a little extra attention and reassurance can go a long way. Otherwise, you might just find yourself doing more laundry than you signed up for. At the end of the day, your cat's antics, whether they're hilarious, frustrating, or downright bizarre, are their way of telling you something. By tuning into their needs and offering a little extra love and attention, you can help them feel more secure, content, and less likely to turn your home into a cat-themed circus. After all, a happy cat means a happier you, and a couch that might just survive another day. Let us know in the comments if your cat has ever pulled any of these moves. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more cat chaos!